What's up, guys? It's the Quincy here to bring you Fairy Tail Chapter 327 review. Alright, guys. At the end of last week's video, I left out a prediction of mine. I predicted that the dragons might find a way to come through from the other side of the gate. So I'm sorry I left that out. I didn't really expect it to happen this way. I expected that there was another eclipse gate, and the dragons that we saw a couple chapters ago were actually going to find that eclipse gate and like teleport through that eclipse gate into this eclipse gate. So I was wrong on that, so I apologize. Alright, guys? But let's get this started. This whole chapter was pretty much one key point. It pretty much took place in one place, the castle. Alright, so that's the only thing I'm going to cover pretty much. Just the castle. So let's start this off. Again, let's start this off again. We see Lucy, and she's saying, we need to close this gate immediately. The princess then steps in front of Lucy, saying, we can't close this gate. Stop what you're doing. This is the only weapon we have to fight off those dragons. Lucy's saying, no, we have to close this gate. This is not a weapon. This is not a weapon to fight the dragons. This gate has connected time itself 400 years ago. And this is where the princess is, a little shocked. She's like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying. So the princess and Lucy start arguing a little bit, and Arcadius is there like, whoa, Lucy, this is the princess you're talking to. You need to calm your tits. So, that's pretty much all that's happening right there. Then you feel this quake, this earthquake, and then you see a dragon come out of the gate. And this part, I'm just here like, Ermahgerd, it's Godzilla! Because, literally, you look at the bottom left corner of this video still, and it could be Godzilla. Like, seriously. Hiro Mashima, still playing homage to Godzilla. So, I like seeing that. It looks like Godzilla, just on all fours. Anyways, this dragon, he raises his head and howls out, and just the howl alone just causes every soldier and mage at the castle to fly backwards. I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa! Yes, we finally can see the dragons, because he literally just howled. That's all he did. He howled, and just the shockwave alone just forced everyone back. Then next we see the dragon raising his hand, palming the ground, and then just this huge shockwave just flies across Crocus, destroying houses, buildings. You see debris flying up in the air. I'm like, oh, these dragons are here to play, man. They're here to play, and I'm enjoying this. Then we're taken to Fairy Tail mages, Gray and Juvia, I think, and they're like, what is that? It's like, that came from the castle. Like, no shit, it came from the castle. We're taken back to Lucy, right? And she's shaking the princess. She's like, yo, princess, you gotta snap out of this. Tell me how to close the gate. Please tell me how to close the gate. And I'm just like, Lucy, if you slap the princess, I will like you a little more. I would like you a little more. But she doesn't slap the princess. The princess turns around and tells Lucy that the pedestal has a handle that can close the gate. So Lucy starts running, and we get a fan service shot of Lucy's panties. Alright, that's fan service shot number 1 in this chapter. Lucy gets to the handle. Wendy asks, how did you figure out this eclipse thing? Like, how did you figure it out? And Lucy states, it wasn't me, it was my Silver Key Crooks. I had him do research the entire time on the eclipse gate. And it turns out the eclipse gate is a gate that can help control time. And it also has a connection to Cerite's magical book. So I was like, oh, that's pretty neat, I guess. Control time, time travel. But due to the circumstances of the full moon, the magic power that has been gathered into the Eclipse Gate is out of whack. It's out of control. So damn you, full moon, for screwing up everything. Actually, no, don't damn you, screw moon. I said damn you, screw moon. Don't screw you, damn moon. All right. I like the moon. I like the full moon. It's doing what Future Rogue's doing. It's saving chapters. You know, it caused the Eclipse Gate to go out of whack. And it's causing the dragons to spill out. Like, literally, dragons are just gonna keep spilling out of this gate. They're spilling out, like, dragon after dragon after dragon after dragon. I'm just like, oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Eclipse Gate. So anyways, Lucy then states that this gate connected time 400 years ago to the time where dragons did exist. So that's where they're coming from. Then she says, if I can use my celestial magic, I can help close this gate. Well, another dragon comes out of the gate, no surprise, right? It stomps his foot down, causes Lucy to fly backwards. Again. And, what do you know, guys? Panty shot number 2 of Lucy. And then she gets up, panty shot number 3 of Lucy. 3 panty shots of Lucy in just a few pages. Fan service. Fan service. Alright. She goes back running to the pedestal. To the handle. She's like, I promised future self that I would live. To shed tears of joys and happiness. And I'm just like, Lucy, shut the fuck up. Alright. The beginning of the chapter, I thought the princess was as annoying as Lucy. But no, you just took that title right back. You took it right back. The most annoying girl in fairy tale. So, after that, we're taken to Natsu, Ultir, and Merity. And pretty much, Natsu hasn't been sucked up by Future Rogue yet in the shadow, which surprised me. I'm like, why is Future Rogue taking so little time with Natsu when he took the executioners and guards in like a matter of seconds? Natsu did no damage to Future Rogue for him to even have the slightest bit of problem sucking Natsu into the shadows. So I'm just like, okay, hero, you just kind of ruined Rogue there, Future Rogue there, you know. But Ultir is pretty much saying, oh, Natsu, you gotta snap out of it, you gotta get a hold of yourself. Natsu places a hand on Ultir's shoulder, starts pulling himself out of the shadows. I'm just like, Natsu, no, you can't do this. You can't pull yourself out of the shadows. If Rogue fucked you up that much in the last chapter with one attack, your ass is trying to escape. He won't let you escape. I predict next chapter, Future Rogue is gonna pull Natsu fully into the shadow. But anyways, Natsu then says, I promised that I would protect the future. And that's the end of the chapter. Alright, so overall, good chapter of Fairy Tail. It was a good chapter of Fairy Tail. I enjoyed reading this chapter of Fairy Tail. Alright guys, so I think it's time for something. It's time for the basic fab. Badassness. Seeing Lucy in this chapter was a 2. Seeing the dragons in this chapter rose the badass badass level to 8. Because that one dragon just fucked up the city with just one paw thrust, you know, just one hand thrust to the ground. It's like, ah, bitch, boom! And then shockwave, destroying buildings and shit. Attention level. I was very into this chapter. Like, I paid attention to the panels, the pages. As you can tell, I actually noticed the fan service of Lucy, you know, her panty shots. I noticed them because Fairy Tail has been having really good chapters, so why not pay attention more than what I have been? So, attention level at a 7.5. Satisfaction. I was at a 10. I'm at a 10 at this chapter. It was very satisfying. I enjoyed it. It was a nice read. Of course, seeing the dragons was nice. It would have been nice. It would have been nicer to see Natsu being fully sucked into the shadows. Interest level. Well, I was at a 7 for last week when this chapter happened, and then I actually saw the dragons. I rose to a 9. The dragons are like the main part of this arc, I believe. The Grand Magic Games was nothing. Just forget the Grand Magic Games. We should have just started with the dragons. The dragons should have interfered during the Grand Magic Games. Alright, if that would have happened, if the dragons were to have interfered during the Grand Magic Games, Fairy Tail wouldn't have won, Sabretooth would still be number 1, and we wouldn't have had that bullshit of the final day of the games, you know? So, interest level, high. Confusion meter, 0. I was not confused at all in this chapter. Not confused at all. 0. Fan service. Well, there's a lot of fanboys of Lucy, so you guys got panty shots. So, an 8. There's a lot of fanboys of Utir, so, you know, that was pretty good. There's a lot of fanboys of Merity, but you didn't get to see her face because it was covered by a speech bubble. Of course, we saw Sting and Rogue. They have a huge fangirl service, or fangirl base, so it must be nice seeing them. Not quite the fan service they liked, but every time you see a character you like in a chapter, you can pretty much consider that fan service. Alright. Animation. The quality of drawings were actually very, very well done. Kudos to you, YourOtaku. The dragons are very well detailed. The scream the dragon let out was very detailed. The fan service is very detailed. Yes, YourOtaku, of course. The destruction of the town was very detailed. So, animation, about a 10. No. 9.2 out of animation. Could have been better. Predictability. Well, it looks like my prediction of predictability. Well, it looks like my prediction of Lucy being taken over by her mother didn't happen. But the prediction of the dragons coming out the gate did happen, so about a 5. I would say on predictability. And overall, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, this chapter of Fairy Tail gets a 3.4. It was a good chapter of Fairy Tail. I would have preferred seeing less of Lucy, less of the princess, and more of the dragons. And sorry for my stuffy nose, guys. It's stuffy in here. So I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, this is the Quincy and the Shinigami's 30th review video. So I hope you liked it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. The links to the good stuff is down below. My Twitter page, the Shinigami's Twitter page, our Facebook fan page. And yeah, this is Quincy, and I'm signing out. Adios, otakus.